some of you who watch TV and see documentaries might have heard of a little place called Wounded Knee, South Dakota. Huh? Yeah. My eldest brother, no, it's you, quit trying to trick. This is my brother Dwayne Camp. Dwayne Camp is the patriarch in our family at this time. In the early 70s, my brothers were on the leading edge of Native American activism. You know, a lot of us refer to it as a time of Native American Renaissance. Because at that time, our people had been subjected to all those things we talked about the forced removals. We've been subjected to boarding schools, as both my brothers attended. We've been subjected to being the mascots on somebody's team. We've been subjected to being a people who were marginalized and who were just on the way to being a little piece of the melting pot, and not knowing that our identities had been supplanted by the identities of our oppressors, except my brothers. My brothers understood this, and they knew that. And they took a lead in Indian country to begin to demand justice in every form, through our housing, through our languages, through our tribal governments, through all of the ways that we were being oppressed. And they ended up taking, my brother Carter led the Trail of Broken Treaties across the United States and into Washington, D.C. And my brother Dwayne, my brother Craig, my brother Carter, all ended up in leadership positions wherever they were at that particular time. And the road took them at a time when the Lakota, when Raymond Yellow Thunder had been abused up in that country, took them up into the Lakota country to stand with the Red Nations people.
Time magazine said, in this Nixon versus the rest of us era, Carter Camp is the newest face in the radical Indian movement. Carter is of the people. He's the man that was in front when we were at Wounded Knee, that he was the first in and the last out. And it is my pride and pleasure to ask Carter to come give us a word today and help bless us beginning. So.
Good morning, my relation.
Good morning, brother.
I feel good about seeing all you guys here this morning, and I apologize for being late. You know, driving along down the road down here, we've seen a young woman with two little kids, little babies, and carrying a gas can. You know, that's kind of the everlasting sign in Indian country. Need a little bit of help. So my brother and I stopped over there and took her to Delamart and got her gas and brought her back. So, but I wanted to come over here like this to begin this, to tell you a few things about the American Indian movement. American Indian movement, you know, when we started, we pretty much play it by ear. You know, I'm down here in Oklahoma. No one's ever organized Oklahoma like this. I got more chapters and around the state than any. After a while, people just kept flocking in, especially young people and students. 17, 16-year-old people, you know, came into our encampment. It became really big. Many teepees, a lot of tents, a lot of powwow people came there and would spend the weekend with us and go to work or class. But we were doing it by the seat of our pants. It had never been done before. And so using that as our home base for my encampment, we just go to different places. It's about working each in our own way, each in our own community. I mean, I was here without a car, without nothing except my Ponca relatives. that I depended on. And I'd roll into Ponca and stay on some of my relations' couch and get up in the morning and start going around talking, go to tribal council meetings, go to any of the Johnson O'Malley meetings. Everything the Ponca tribe does, I wanted to be there. I wanted to listen to them, or I wanted them to listen to me. And then I started branching into the other tribes. Pawnees. Pawnees put up a big encampment for the American Indian movement so I could bring in some more people. And my first AIM encampment was there at Pawnee. And with that, with just about this many people, we began to grow. College kids came from all the different colleges and starting to support us. Starting to get on our side and understand what's this Indian business about. All of a sudden, we didn't have the basic knowledges except for a few of our medicine men. We went out of sweat lodge, our kid never even heard of it. The things that we were doing was always to advance the white society and never advance the Indian society. We get up and hitchhike wherever we had to go. 3 or 4 would hitchhike, bust in that police station and say, hey, this is not the way you treat Indian people. If a white man can get to call his name up and he gets a lawyer, he gets read his Miranda rights, an Indian gets called up and he says, did you do it or not? Yeah, I did it, $50 and walk. No lawyer, no advantage. And so a good portion of my first part of the movement here in Oklahoma was being a lawyer. I'm going from courthouse to courthouse to courthouse. I got no law training, but I want to go in there and confront that sheriff. It makes me feel good. It makes me want to walk into that district attorney's office and say, you are never going to treat my people like this again, because I'm not going to let you. It's difficult to be a community organizer and keep after it and keep after it and keep after it for many years. When I came here to organize in Oklahoma, sent by the American Indian Movement to organize this, I was pretty much alone. 5 or 6 of us AIM guys from Kansas AIM came down here to the Pawnee area and set up an encampment. But I knew the problems of my people. I knew it. I studied it. I made it my business to know the business of sovereignty. How can I bring to my people the lesson that we are a sovereign nation? We are a sovereign people. And without that understanding, we're not going to be Indian people very much longer. Without that sense of urgency that we need, we're going to disappear. That was the plan. When I was a young man, the plan of the white man was a disappearing Indian. And they believed in it fervently. They knew darn well we were going to disappear. But the American Indian Movement, we thought we saw something a little bit good in our people. Some value there. That even though our grandpas told us Poncas were disappearing, or the Creek Nation was going to go out of existence, they told us all of these things, and we were getting down to be about the last generation that can say, no, I don't think we're going to disappear. We've been here for these 500 years since the invasions came, and I think we still have something valuable to contribute to this world and to this society. And we're going to stand up and make it different. We're going to stand up and make it so our kids can wear their hair long in school, hear their own language spoken, in their own schools that we should build for them. I mean, what kind of a nation lets another nation educate their children? It should never happen. Every child should be educated by their own people in their own language. You know, we were faced with a nation of Indian people who were just about to give up. Told by all their elders, told by all their books, told by all their teachers, told by everything in history that this was the end and that we were coming to the end of the line. You've been taught that for 100 years, 200 years, and that has been backed up with a genocide of your people, and almost 90% of your people are dead. You know, maybe you can understand what was facing our people in the 1960s. The Indians were getting beat to jail and beat to death in places like Lawton, Oklahoma, where they had a elevator shaft that was famous in Indian country. You get in that elevator, your ass is going to be bloody when you get to the top, if not dead. They had killed around 40 people, 40 to 50 Indian people in that elevator in Lawton, Oklahoma. We had swallowed the lie of the white man. We had swallowed that lie of the white man, and not only that, our elders had swallowed that lie of the white man, that we're a vanishing people. And we said, no, we're not vanishing any place. We're going to be here another 500 years. You know, we have no intention of giving up and vanishing and becoming assimilated into this society with no sign of our society. You know, but we established in the minds of our Indian people sovereignty, an understanding of sovereignty and what it means. Even in these old tribal leaders, I know there's a tribal leader down here, Chickasaw, I think, making $800 and some thousand a year salary. And that's not even counting his perks. You know, I think Conoco Oil don't make that much. But here's this Indian guy. You know, he gets more of a pretend Indian guy. You know, these guys never really fought for sovereignty. Or never really struggled for their people, but when it became lucrative to do so, they took full advantage of it. All of us need to understand a couple of things. One thing is that everybody has to assume that they're in a position of leadership. It must be a time when all of us are standing together. No one has to be a boss or any of those kind of things.
Today I was very honored to have my father come and start this off and speak, and I have a blanket I want to show everyone here. This blanket was made by Regina Brave in Oglala. And on behalf of her family, on behalf of the people of the Lakota Nation, they asked me to bring this down here and to present this blanket to my father. And the Lakota people want to tell him thank you for the sacrifice that he made on behalf of us.